How's it going? Doing a bit of an update on the chooks, a couple of people have asked, so I thought I'd start off with just a bit of a look at a couple of projects I've been doing with them. Nothing fancy, but I'll give you a bit of a look. The first thing we've started to do a lot more of is sprouting grain for the chickens. This is just a little jar with some holes in the top there, and what I've been doing is using this primarily to sprout grain for the little green living feeder. That's what it's been used for before. But now, once a week, I'm adding about 2 cups worth of seed, or this one's about 1.5 cups worth of wheat seed in there, and just germinating it for the chooks to give them a bit of a treat. When you actually sprout grain, the germination process unlocks nutrients and makes them more available for animals that eat them. So sprouting the grain is a great way to not only give the chooks a bit of a treat, but it also gives them some extra nutrients as well. And another thing I've been doing is I was trying to sprout some greens in this little seedling tray that's set down into the aquaponic grow bed, and all I was doing was putting about 1 tablespoon of grain in here, and as the bed was flooding and draining, it was hydrating the seed and it was germinating. We harvested these 2 cells over here and we got some nice greens for the chickens, but unfortunately the doves that are nesting in this mango tree here came down here and decided to have a good old feast on these guys. I caught them when they'd only been eating 2 cells, and I had a little compost screen, mesh screen over the top here, but I took it off the other day and I came back and they just decimated it. So you can see some of the bits that they've pulled out and just left there. So I'm just leaving this here for the doves. They can have a bit of a peck at that, and then I'll clean it up later and sow it out again. Just down here in the chook yard, these girls know what I've got under my arm. I just thought I'd share with you what I do in this pen in particular. Every time I mow the lawn, I normally used to just cut and leave it so for the health of the lawn, but now what we do is we mow it and we throw it in here for the chooks, and they love it. Every time the lawnmower comes out, they know what's coming. I find even in winter that it's enough to cover this in about 4 inches or 10 centimetres of nice greens, and they get to peck through that. Then it dries out and it helps break down like the deep letter method that we use in the night pen over there with just normal bedding hay, or bedding straw. So these girls, yeah, they like that. I think I might just give them some of these sprouts and we'll go in and have a look at what else I've been up to. Here you go, girls. Have some sprouts. You won't hear them cluck now for the rest of the clip. They go absolutely crazy over this stuff. They love it. Should spread it out a bit. So in the pen itself, whoops, helps if I unlock the gate. In the night pen itself, not a lot's been going on. I've sowed out another batch of wheat into their green feeder, so they got some wheat that's coming up there nicely now. I've also started to take a couple of wheelbarrows of the broken down straw and the soil in here, and I'm sieving that out. I'm just getting the little bits of broken pottery and all that sort of stuff that the chickens are slowly unearthing, and that's going to be used in the new garden beds out the front. It's a very fine dust. I mean, you can see it here really. It's a very fine dust it turns into, and I found that's actually quite hydrophobic when you use it by itself. I tried to plant some seeds out in it the other day as a seedling mix, and I just couldn't get it to absorb water, so it's going to be something I'll dig through with the rest of the soil that goes into the garden beds. Their little water feeder, just to show you, this has been here now for it's a couple of months. This has been here. It really should be out of the sun because it will start to break down the plastic over time. But we're getting no algal bloom in this whatsoever. A lot of people were concerned because this was clear we were going to get some sort of an algal outbreak in here. We haven't had anything at all. A bit of apple cider vinegar's gone in there. That's just to help, a bit of a health tonic for the chickens. The nipple over here, when I made this, it was working fine, but I found that it was getting caught on its side, whether the ball was faulty or the little stopper inside. So what I did was I just unscrewed that and put a new one in there. We actually lost one of these containers in about 36 hours. It was just slowly dripping from one of them, so it was best just to pull him out, throw him in the bin so we don't confuse him for another build, and just put a new one in there. So, but this thing's working fine. Over here, they've been scratching around their egg box. Oh, they got an egg in there for us. Over here I've made a bit of a modification to their feeder. We still have the original one just in here. This actually came out the other day, so I had to fix it, and I put another port just down on the other side, so there's now 2 feeding holes in there. So I think they're really liking the fact that they don't have to bully each other around now to have a bit of a feed. So I'm in the process of making up a new feeder as well. So I'll do an all-in-one clip that shows you a couple of little modifications that I've done with these little feeding ports, just to get the grain flowing a little bit easier, and also too these little stoppers that stop the grain from coming out. So as you can see, we've got a little bit on the ground here, but not a lot. That's pretty much all from me mucking around, changing these ports as I was playing around and altering them. And also too, like I mentioned, that little faceplate came out as well, so it was just a matter of pop riveting it back in there with a washer on the back. Basically what happened is the plastic had pulled off of the pop rivet, but all you need to do is slip a washer over the rivet and then pop it back on, and yeah, Bob's your uncle. So we'll pretty much leave it at that. Hey girls, so they're pretty happy here, just pecking away. I won't disturb them. Hopefully I'll have that other clip on the barrel, the new feeder, and a few alterations up in the next couple of days. And also too, there may be something on the sprouting soon. I'm trying to work out a system to mass produce the sprout, so we'll have a look at that in a couple of weeks hopefully. So there you go. Hey chook chooks. So I'll pretty much leave it there. Like I said, if you do have any comments, questions, suggestions, did I spook you? Any comments, questions, suggestions, just pop them in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Other than that, have a good one and keep on clucking. Catch ya. That's my thumb. Humans are friends, not food. Hey, that's my pinky. These black ones are vicious. There you go, Greedy. You can have the rest. Ah, Greedies and Chicken Littles. Bye-bye, sweetie.